Good morning, everyone. I got Luigi here with me this morning. And this morning we're doing some fall cleanup. Not too much because I want to protect the overwintering good insects, the ones that we like, the butterflies and the bees and all the ones that I want to see come back next year. Like I'd love to see some Luna moths again next summer. But see this big old sage bush here right up front? This one needs to go because it's totally covered in whitefly. When I get in there and cut it back, you could see them just fly everywhere. And I want to be able to put some Christmas decorations up front here. So I am in the process of cutting all of this back, and eventually we'll clean out this bed up front here. Look at this. We've already got some daffodils blooming. They're on a I guess, you know what, they must be confused by the time change too, just as much as I am. How are you guys doing with that? I'm doing not so good with it. I absolutely loathe time change, as I think like probably 95, maybe 100% of other people do. So, but we manage, right? So I'm taking care of the sage, and then right over here, I've got some daffodils called Angel's Breath. And I've got about 100 of them. And so I'm gonna just kind of plant them woven in between the perennials in the front of the bed right there. And probably a little bit in front of the Japanese maple too, at the base of the birdhouse, or not birdhouse, the bird feeder there. So that's the plan for right now. We'll see how far I can get. I really would like to tackle this today and get all of that, the dead Rudbeckia blossoms cut back. And eventually I actually have to dig out the Rudbeckia because it's completely taken over the bed and it's really starting to choke out the roses. So it's time to dig those up too. I don't think I'll have enough energy to do all that today. We'll see. I'm still recovering from time change. And I think it's probably the lunar eclipse, blood moon, full moon. I didn't sleep like at all the night before. Like literally I was up all night. It was like, what is going on? It was the weirdest feeling. So anyway, that's what I'm doing this morning. Eventually would love to get this bed cleaned up too, just a little bit. Mainly the Rudbeckia. Most of the birds I think have pretty much done getting all the seed out of those. It's so fun to watch them, you know, get all the seeds off the Rudbeckia. It's so neat. I haven't seen them do it lately, so I'm assuming they probably picked it all over. But yeah, it's super windy today. Woo! It feels so good out here though. So anyway, I'm just gonna keep getting to it and I'll show you the somewhat cleaned up results. All right, that's already looking better and I'm not even close to being done. But that just opens this whole space up, doesn't it? Cats love it when I'm out here. They run around and play. So much fun for them. All right, so now that I've got that teeny tiny little front bed cleaned out, I had just remembered I've got some bulbs, some daffodil bulbs here in this pot that I planted last year. I can't remember the name. I know I have it on another video, but they're really beautiful flowers, really beautiful daffodils. And so I thought I would go ahead and take them out of this container and put them in the ground right there in front of the house, because they're gonna do a whole lot better in the ground than they will in this pot. At least I think they will. Yeah, these aren't too big because they stayed underneath the porch and they didn't get a whole lot of, woo! Oh, there goes my trash can. It's really windy out here, y'all. They didn't get a whole lot of rain since this pot was under the porch all summer. So the bulbs aren't as big, but they'll definitely recover in that front bed because they're gonna get plenty of rain out there. So I'm gonna dig out every single one that I can and I'm gonna plant them in the front. Okay, I got all the bulbs out, and what's great about this is this pots ready to go for when I'm ready to plant my tulips. I got a really beautiful blend from colorblends.com called French Rose Blend. Hey dude, you were just needing so much attention right now, aren't you? Oh my gosh, he is just needing it so bad, aren't you, buddy? Oh my goodness. Oh, don't bite me. Good thing I got gloves on. Okay, anyway, French Rose Tulip Blend, gorgeous colors. I'm gonna pop a whole bunch in there when the time comes. Right now I have them in the fridge cooling. But here's all the daffodil bulbs I got out. Super healthy. The ones down at the bottom are a lot bigger. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go plant these. Okay, all those daffodils have been planted in little groups throughout this bed. And I put some hollytone in the holes and then just sprinkled some on top as well. So that's all done. And now I've got some bags of mulch that I can put over this just to kind of clean it up. Okay, so I figured since I'm working this area, I might as well add some of these, the ones that I was going to plan to put over on the side of the yard. This is Angel's Breath. I'll try to find a picture to put up on the screen for you. But these are a little bit smaller. Actually, they're a lot smaller than the other ones that I planted, which I'll look that name up in a minute. But I just dotted them throughout here because they only go in 3 inches deep, as you can see on the tag. And so I'm just popping them in because this soil is already really loose and it's easy to work in compared to the side yard. But I am probably I might add some on the side yard. Who knows? Maybe I'll just go ahead and do them all here and just save my back. So yeah, I'm just working on getting some of these in the ground. And if you've never planted daffodils before, I just wanted to show you, this is how they go in the ground. This is about 3 inches deep, and the pointy side is always up. You can see the green tip where the growth, this is where the flower is going to come out, and the bottom is where the roots are. So you just make sure the roots are connecting with the earth really well, that they're pointy side up, and you can leave a little bit of space in between them. Sometimes they can be touching. I don't think it really matters too much, especially when I'm just in a hurry to get it in the ground. So, but it's good to leave some space in between the bulbs just to prevent rotting, especially if you live in a very damp, cold, wet area where there's a lot of rain in the winter. So yeah, that's how it goes in the ground. And I'm sure you can hear Luigi behind me. He's yelling, always wanting attention. So, and as you can see here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I've got a lot in this group right here, Mr. Yeah, what's going on, dude? Yeah, you want some attention, huh? You want some attention? I don't have my gloves on this time, so you can't attack my hand. But if you do groups of like 5, 7, 9, 11, that really works out nicely. Don't you agree, Luigi? What you think, buddy? Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Yes, everybody on YouTube loves you. Okay, again, here's another example of how to plant a somewhat large grouping, I would say. Again, these are really teeny tiny daffodils, so it's gonna look really cute having them all together. But I've got it right here next to the sidewalk, so especially since these are on the shorter side. So they should be easy to see. And I've got my bigger daffodils. These have already come up for some reason. I don't know why. Sometimes that happens in the fall. It just kind of gets wonky. But these are the avalanche variety, which I absolutely adore. They have the sweetest little blooms, as you can see. I mean, here, I'll show you right here. This one's, I think I already showed this to you, but I'm going to show it to you again because it's so pretty. This one's already blooming. Look at that. And this one has a really nice scent to it. It's just starting to open up. So yeah, I definitely recommend you get some of those. I'm going to cover these up, or actually fertilize, throw a little fertilizer in there, cover them up, and then I'm going to clean out the rest of this bed. I don't know if I have enough mulch to cover this whole area, today. But I'm gonna concentrate on getting this space covered, and I'm gonna clean up the walkway, and then I'm probably just gonna be done for the afternoon. So I'm gonna have lunch later and then have to go get Jeff from school, and I have to go inside and check to make sure that Elizabeth is staying on task, which she usually does, but you know how it is if you homeschool. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll show you how it all looks when it's all cleaned up. Okay, here is the final look. Looks a lot better, doesn't it? Oh my, I'm tired. But it's been so beautiful out here. The wind is blowing and it's breezy and it's nice and cool. So that's all done. That's as far as I could get with the mulch. We'll have to do this a little bit later. And I did end up putting all of the angel's breath up here just to make it easier. So there's plenty of room since we cleaned out this bed. So yeah, everything's looking good. Oh, and if you guys are wondering why I didn't prune back the hydrangeas, right now is not the time to do that. You want to prune back paniculatas in early spring, late winter. So that is why I left all of these flowers on, and they look kind of pretty through winter too. So we'll have something nice to look at in the winter months. So yeah, so there we go. In a little while, I'm going to go around back and show you some of the tree work that we had done and kind of give you an update on the plans that we have for the backyard. We're going to be changing things up just a little bit or refreshing because the vegetable bed forms that we have back there are really starting to rot. They're rotting out, and it tends to just stay messy back there just because of the way the layout is. And we formed those beds in 2019 when we built the pool. We used all the trees that we had cut down. We used the logs from the trees to form the beds. And so it has served us well for, you know, the past few years. But now it's time to try and refresh it a bit. It just looks pretty messy back there. And I'm just kind of tired of it always looking messy. So I'm gonna change things up a bit. Probably won't have as big of a vegetable garden because for me it's just a lot to take care of, and our yard, for us, our yard is really, really big and it's just a lot to handle. So I don't know if y'all can hear me through this wind. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna wait till the gust passes. Maybe you can't hear me. I'm just gonna keep going. Oh my gosh. Hold up. Okay, that's a little bit better now. What was I saying? I was saying we're changing things up back there. We're gonna put in smaller raised beds, those galvanized raised beds that I've got out by that hoop, the hoop walkway. So we're gonna add some of those back there. And then I'm probably going to add a lot more perennials, shrubs, and probably some bulbs too. But it's just gonna take some time because I'm not sure exactly what kind of layout I wanna do. And then I also do wanna add a nice maple tree back there since we did have to cut down that large oak tree, which I'm so glad we did. If I can find the picture, I'll put it up on the screen for you. But the base of that tree was rotted out pretty good, and a really strong windstorm would have really been dangerous. So I'm glad we took that thing down. So I'm gonna plan to put a maple in its place, I think, but I've just got to rework a whole lot of stuff. Like all the fruit trees back there just are not producing like I hoped they would. And honestly, I think this is kind of how this works with gardening. Everything is trial and error. And you look at other people who have beautiful fruit trees and all of these things, and you think, oh, I can do that too, because you've got the space. Well, it may not necessarily work because you don't have enough sun. And for my case, I just don't have enough sun back there to actually produce quality fruit, or any fruit for that matter, because the plum trees have never bore any fruit. And the pear trees have, you know, they've given us a couple, but they've been very hard to reach and very small, and I just left them for the animals. And the apple trees have never fruited for us, ever. So what I'm planning to do is give some trees away to friends who want them. And I'm gonna clear up that area just to kind of open it up a little bit more. And then once we get those things cleared out, I'll reevaluate and see exactly how we want to design everything back there. I just want to open it up a little bit more. Oh my goodness. It needs to be opened up a little bit more. So anyway, more details on that later. But this is a good start. It was nice to get out here and just be out in nature and enjoy the breeze. All the leaves, they're almost gone. We're just about done for. The oaks are holding on a little bit longer. Those type of oak trees actually tend to hold on a little bit more throughout the whole winter. So yeah. And look at this. We just blew, like, our whole property was just, you know, they blew the leaves out, and already it's all back in here again. So I will be blowing out the garage when I'm done talking to you guys. So, all right, that's that for today. Hope y'all are having a great week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.